All right, so today we're diving into some pretty murky waters.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be talking about Gulf Keystone Petroleum,
GKP.
GKP. And this is not just about oil. It's about politics, money, kind of like international chess.
Yeah. Mhm.
Imagine if you're trying to run an oil company in a region where the pipelines are all shut off
Right.
and the government is in a constant power struggle.
Yeah.
That's basically GKP's reality at the moment.
Yeah. It's a fascinating situation because they're operating in the Kurdistan region of Iraq,
Right.
which has like this huge potential for oil production,
Yeah.
but it's constantly caught between the Kurdish regional government
Right.
and the Iraqi central government in Baghdad.
So they're kind of stuck in this no man's land,
Yeah.
trying to pump oil while everyone's arguing about who gets the profits.
Absolutely.
What does that even do to a company's bottom line?
Well, the biggest impact is the halt of oil exports through the Iraq-Turkey pipeline since March.
Right.
That's their main way to get the oil out to the international market.
Right.
Without it, they're stuck selling it locally at a huge discount.
Okay.
They're selling oil for like half
Wow.
of what they could get on the global market.
That's got to hurt.
Yeah.
But they are still managing to stay afloat.
Yeah.
They even announced dividends.
Yeah.
How are they doing that?
That's a bit of a tightrope walk, you know?
Yeah.
They've cut costs where they can,
Okay.
and they're squeezing as much as they can from the local sales.
Right.
But it's definitely tough.
Yeah.
But the dividend announcement and their share buyback program,
Right.
those are interesting.
Yeah.
They're sending a message to the investors.
Right.
We're confident enough
Right.
to keep rewarding our shareholders, even with all this going on.
So they're putting on a brave face, but it must be pretty tense.
Oh, yeah.
This pipeline shutdown is all tied to this Iraqi budget amendment, right?
Yeah.
What's the latest on that?
Right. So the amendment is supposed to help restart those exports.
Okay.
But it's become this whole political football. The Kurdistan Democratic Party, the KDP,
Yeah.
walked out of the parliament
Oh, why?
because they felt like a clause protecting the oil companies
Right.
was removed.
Oh, I.
And now, without them, they don't have enough people to vote.
So it's a stalemate.
Yeah, pretty much.
What was so important about that clause for the KDP?
Well, they argue that removing it weakens their control over the oil
Right.
and gives too much power to Baghdad.
Okay.
They want to make sure that their oil revenues are protected
Right.
and that companies like GKP are going to keep investing in the region.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like everyone is playing hardball here.
Definitely.
What are the chances this amendment actually goes through?
It's hard to say. There's a lot of political stuff happening in the background. The
Yeah.
KDP needs to come back,
Right.
and Baghdad needs to offer something.
Uh-huh.
But with all that oil money at stake, the negotiations are going to be tough.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a high-stakes game for sure.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to be the first one out. But there's another layer to all of this.
Okay.
This whole thing about Kurdistan selling oil, you know?
The table.
Yeah, on the black market.
That's where it gets kind of like a spy movie or something.
Right.
So what's the deal with that?
It's not really a secret that some Kurdish oil has been getting out there through
Oh.
these unofficial channels.
Yeah.
Maybe even going to Iran.
Wow.
Even the Iraqi prime minister said it out loud recently,
Really?
that some of Kurdistan's oil is being sold, like, illegally.
So they're arguing with Baghdad about official exports.
Yeah.
But then they're making these side deals.
Yeah.
Isn't that a little risky?
It is. It shows how desperate they are.
Okay.
They need the money,
Right.
and they're going to bend the rules to get it.
Yeah.
This puts GKP in a tough spot, too.
How so?
Well, if there's a black market for Kurdish oil,
Right.
that means there's demand, and the oil is flowing, just not officially.
Okay.
That could make GKP's share buyback program look even smarter.
So some investors might see it as a good sign
Exactly.
that GKP is ready when the official exports start again.
That's the idea.
Okay.
It's a risky move, but it could pay off big time.
Right.
But let's go back to the budget amendment for a second.
Yeah.
They both need to compromise. But what does that even look like?
Yeah. What would make everyone happy here?
Well, for the KDP, they need guarantees
Okay.
that they'll get their oil money
Right.
and that they'll have control
Over the oil.
over how it's managed. Yeah.
Okay.
They also need to know that companies like GKP are safe.
And that they'll keep investing.
Exactly.
So it's all about control and security.
Pretty much.
What about Baghdad?
For Baghdad, it's about showing who's boss,
Okay.
making sure that oil money goes through them.
Right.
They want control of the pipeline, and they want to make sure everyone benefits, not just Kurdistan.
So it's like they're walking a tightrope,
Yeah.
trying to keep the KDP happy, but also stay in charge.
It's a recipe for things to get stuck.
Sounds like it.
But there are signs that they both want to find a solution.
Okay.
This export halt is costing them billions
Wow.
every month.
Yeah.
That's money they need.
For like everything.
Yeah, essential services, rebuilding,
Right.
the whole economy.
Okay. But how does this connect back to GKP's dividends?
That's the interesting part.
Okay.
By doing those financial moves, GKP is making a bet
On what?
that things will work out,
Okay.
that the oil will flow again.
Uh-huh.
They're telling investors, we believe in this.
So they're taking a risk, but they've thought about it.
Yeah, it's calculated.
If they're right, they could win big.
Yeah, but if not,
Then it could all go wrong.
it could. That's why you have to understand the whole picture.
Not just the politics, but the money too.
Exactly. It's all connected.
This is a reminder that investing in a company like this,
Yeah.
it's not just about the oil.
It's about everything else going on around it.
Yeah, the politics, the risks,
It's like a case study.
and how complicated this all is.
It really is, and how little things can have a big impact.
Yeah, it really is complicated. It's like a real-life game of risk,
Right.
but with oil wells instead of armies.
Exact.
But it's not just a game.
No.
This has an impact on everyone.
Especially Europe.
Yeah, they really need that energy.
They do. This whole situation in Kurdistan,
Yeah.
it really shows how vulnerable Europe is.
In terms of energy.
Yeah, they're trying to get away from fossil fuels,
Right.
but they still need them.
A lot of it comes from the Middle East.
A big chunk, yeah.
But what happens if that Kurdish oil stays stuck?
It's not good.
Could it cause another energy crisis?
It's a possibility. Remember, Europe is still dealing with the problems from the war in Ukraine.
Right.
Their energy supplies were messed up, prices went way up,
Yeah.
if things get worse in Iraq, or even just stay the same for a while,
It could happen again.
prices could spike, they might not have enough.
That's scary, especially with winter coming.
Yeah.
What are European leaders doing about it?
Trying to find other sources of gas,
Okay.
like LNG from other countries.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to speed up their renewable energy projects.
But that takes time.
It does, so they're in a tough spot.
So it's a race against time.
You could say that.
They need a solution fast.
Before it gets cold, and it's not just about keeping the lights on.
Right.
High energy prices affect everything.
Yeah, everything costs more.
Inflation goes up, businesses struggle,
It's bad for everyone.
except maybe the people making money on the black market.
I was just thinking that.
It's cynical, but probably true.
Yeah.
But I think it shows that we need a better way.
A better way to do energy.
Right. Europe needs more options, but also needs to use less fossil fuels.
So this whole thing with GKP and Kurdish oil,
Yeah.
it's like a mini version of the big energy problem.
I think so. It shows how unpredictable the oil market is, the risks involved, and that we need cleaner energy, like now.
That's a lot to think about. We've gone from a rocky politics to a black market oil boom to the future of energy in Europe.
It's all connected.
Where does that leave our listener?
Well, if you're invested in GKP, it's a wild ride.
Yeah.
You're betting that things will get fixed.
Right.
And the oil exports start again.
If that happens, their stock could go way up.
Exactly. But if not, it could be bad.
So big risk, big reward.
Basically.
And it shows that investing in a company like this,
Yeah.
it's not just about the numbers.
You got to understand the politics, the risks, the whole situation.
Yeah, it's a reminder that everything is connected.
It is.
What happens in one place could affect the whole world.
That's a good takeaway.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
what's the one thing you want our listener to remember?
The energy world is changing fast.
Okay.
The old ways don't work anymore.
We're in a new era.
We are. And the people who win will be the ones who can adapt.
Adapt to the changes.
Yeah. Anticipate what's coming. Handle the complexity.
Whether you're an investor or just someone who cares about this stuff.
You need to stay informed, think for yourself, and be ready for anything.
Do your research, be curious, and buckle up.
Because it's going to be a bumpy ride.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into GKP and Kurdish oil.